Nope, too bad. It is April 11th,
damn it, Tim.
2022. This is Atlanta United FC Weekly, a Home Before Dark podcast, and we are out of spicy water at the Herb House. So you just get Dan's liquid death. Yeah, it doesn't work.
Liquid death.
I think that only works with crystal glasses, doesn't it?
No, anything with a stem.
Okay. I don't understand how that stuff works.
Like, because it's just like vibrating down that. Like,
gotcha.
Yeah, I think.
Thank you for tuning in with us on this lovely Monday evening here in Atlanta. I am Tim Herb. As always, I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Mr. Kevin Bradley, across the table from me for the first time in like a month and a half.
That's me, baby.
Dan James on the screen with us, recording remotely, mixing himself a Manhattan. Is that a Manhattan?
Oh, it's delicious. It's made with, was it 13 Colonies rye from Americus, Georgia?
Oh,
beautiful.
I am not a fan.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not a fan. It's too young for me.
Yeah, well,
it's a little too spicy.
So you're like the reverse
I'm not
Leo
surprised.
DiCaprio.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, I think that 13 Colonies is just a 3 or a 4 year, I think. Which so is Old Fourth bourbon, but I just think that that's got a little bit more flavor to it than I only had 13 Colonies, and it was a couple years ago, and I just wasn't a fan of it. Maybe I should go back and retry it, but
I don't know. I'm trying to clear out the bottles. So bottles, I have like a few inches left. I'm really trying hard to clear them out so I can fit more stuff in.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys are watching, I'm going to go ahead and get the housekeeping out of the way. If you guys are watching us on YouTube, thank you for taking time out of your Monday evening, watching us live and joining us live and being a part of the experience. I'm talking about you, Richard Gordon, you, Jay Hannibal, you dirty bird person, and anybody else who's in there with us.
You dirty bird person. That sounds like an insult.
Yeah.
I'm talking about you dirty bird person.
You dirty bird person. If you guys are not subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button, the notification bell icon. Get the notification, get notified whenever we go live. If you guys are listening to us on Apple Podcasts, leave us a rating and or a review. We will read it live on the show.
Have you seen that movie, Misery?
With Kathy Lee Bates?
Bates. Kathy Lee Gifford. Can you imagine if like they redid that movie, but it was
Sarah
Lee
Palin?
Gifford?
No, thanks.
Instead of Kathy Bates.
No, thanks. That's a hard pass for me.
Instead of Joe Bennett.
Who's Joe Bennett?
It's Kathy Bates in The Office.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So, Dan, have we seen the movie Misery? Keep going. Did you get your ankle shattered?
No, he was just asking me a question, just for fun.
Well, she was saying she's the one who
funsies?
says, you dirty birdie.
Oh, that's a deep cut.
But that,
all I remember from that is James Caan getting his ankle smashed against the bedpost.
That's not his ankles, Tim. It's actually his calves.
Oh, okay. Whatever. Lower
Sorry,
leg.
I had to go all Dwight Schrute on you right there.
More like White Schrute. Am I right?
Uh-huh.
Showing his privilege. Okay. Yep. So anyway, back to yesterday's game. Or not. Could we just talk about something else? Have we recorded since Ozzy Alonso's injury?
Yeah,
we have, right? Last week. Yeah,
because
that's right. We did it late.
That's probably the most concerning injury of the bunch for the lineup. At least that's what we were talking about. The Joseph one we weren't as worried about, or maybe it was the other way around.
No, I wasn't as worried about Ozzy because Sosa was coming back.
That's what it was.
Ibarra was coming back.
That's what it was. Yes,
and they both look solid.
Yeah,
I'm a lot more worried about Joseph.
Yes. Well, especially now that because last week whenever we had recorded, we did not have an update on what was going on. Just that he was going back to, what was it, Pittsburgh or somewhere up that way with a P, right? Pushing P.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
somewhere in Pennsylvania.
Going to get checked up on, and then we got the report that he did undergo a very minor operation.
He had his knee scoped.
Yeah, exactly. And expected out 6 to 8 weeks. Is that right?
Yeah.
I hope that's accurate.
Which I think is usually pretty in line for like a cleanup. And that's usually like and same thing with like a meniscus tear or something like that. He didn't tear any ligaments. He has scar tissue. Hopefully, I don't know who did his first, because is Dr. James Andrews doing his surgery this time?
I have no idea.
Like the orthopedic guy that operates out of, I'm pretty sure UAB.
I have no idea, Tim. You're gonna have to
Doctor,
go
is
that
it-
one
yeah.
alone. There's only so much
Um,
my memory can take.
Anyway, whoever botched his knee surgery the first time is probably to blame for this, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think he talked about retiring because of all the botched knee surgery. How many times did he have to get his knee operated on?
It was a good bit. He was talking about how long his recovery was and how every time he took one step forward, he took 2 steps back. It seemed like you said, he thought he was going to retire because of it. So, which goes to say, I think we posed the question this weekend is how much longer do you see Joseph being a part of this lineup, considering the events that have transpired over the past couple of years? Because we're coming up on year 2. This is the third this will be the third year that his injuries have been a part of either his absence or his inability to perform. So it was 2020, 2021, 2022. So this is the third season now that we're still going through the motions. And while I understand that it's all part of it and it's all part of the process and you don't expect him to be 100% in that 6 weeks time, and it is a process, 3 years is a long time for somebody that's not 18 years old anymore,
No, that's for sure. It's becoming less and less of a hot take to talk about him not being with the team moving forward or needing to quote unquote move on from whatever that means, if that means him moving into the front office or being part of the coaching staff or something
I
like
think
that.
even if, as long as I think that my issue is not with Joseph or his ability or his capabilities. It's that he is taking up a designated player position on this roster more than anything else.
Yeah, 100%.
And if that wasn't the case, I don't think that question would have any reason to be asked. But because he's taking up a DP position, I don't know how you can continue to justify it much more, considering things and depending on how they continue to play out the rest of the season. Because I think we're going to be hard pressed to find any semblance of a 2018 Joseph return to form at this point. I mean, that was 4 years ago at this point, which is crazy.
I would be surprised if he returns back to his former self. And I'm with you, Kev. I don't want him taking up a DP player spot. And part of me worries that if he stays around, becomes coaching staff or anything, I mean, if Joseph isn't there, I want it to be somebody else's team. And I feel like, if you hang around too much and you're always going to be in that guy's shadow. And at some point, you just got to draw a line and move on. If he's going to be coaching, he's got to do his coaching license and all that sort of stuff. And I don't know. I love Joseph. I just think at some point it's healthy to just move on.
Yeah. That's the hard thing to reconcile for me is the DP slot. Because
I was never friends with girlfriends after they dumped me, let's be honest.
No, I mean, that's fair, right? Like, I mean, there are two sides. It's like saying that we think or we know that Joseph would stick around, even if they offered it to him. You don't know for sure that he would stick around. I mean, the designated player thing is the part that bugs me. It just sucks because over the past few years, it seems like we can never get, all three, let alone like even 2 DPs healthy at the same time.
Right.
And when I say DPs, I'm not talking about the makeshift DP and or the panic DP and Alan Franco that we did just because we had the slot available and we needed to get somebody in.
Yep.
Or even Marcelino Moreno.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say.
Who I will say right now is playing at a DP level.
Yep. Despite Doug Robertson's best attempts to say otherwise. He is just digging his heels in.
Is he still?
One. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
It's just like what's the saying from The Dark Knight? You either live to become the hero or no, you either You're either the hero or you live
you live long enough to see yourself become the villain or something like that.
Yeah. I think
you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain or something along that way.
Yeah. We just got blocked. No, but it's tough. So to go back to that, it's like not being able to have 2-3 DPs on the field at the same time, or even in the same vicinity of it's one thing. Like, it's not like we were even rotating them, or one was injured for like 2 weeks and then we got him back for a little bit. It's just they're never healthy at the same time. And unluckily for us, like, there have all been attacking players aside from Alan Franco.
So what you're saying is Pineda out?
Yeah, 100%. Out on the road to go find our next striker.
Agreed.
Is what I'm talking about.
Agreed.
Yeah, he needs to hit the road, hit the pavement, Saban style.
Yeah, I agree.
But this does beg the question. Like, we talked about, was it Will Bruin that we were talking about us signing earlier, like in the offseason, and how nice that would have been, and how the Pineda connection was there, and he would have been a perfect guy to slot in, Joseph having this knee injury. And now we're having to rely on, and I didn't even think Ronaldo Cisneros had a bad showing. I thought whenever he came in the second half, I was very surprised by his pace. I know we're kind of jumping ahead and jumping around, but like talking about the striker situation, Dom had at least one miss, right?
Yeah, he had a miss in the first half, but other than that, it wasn't like he was consistently threatening. I feel like
he wasn't.
More than not, as I'm watching the second half as we talk right now, it seems like Moreno has had far more opportunities than Dom Dwyer was able to capitalize or generate in the first half. Moreno has.
Dom had a good opportunity.
Yes,
he just couldn't capitalize on it, like you're saying. But Ronaldo came in, and I mean, it seems to be, for all intents and purposes, he's the guy now that we're going to run with. I thought he was sprightly, bushy tailed. He looked fresh. He only played for a few minutes, but I noticed like he had a burst of speed on the 38-year-old Fuchs. But he could be the guy. He could fill in for Joseph and see how it goes.
Yeah, I know that pace isn't necessarily the most important thing. I was very surprised, and you're right. It might just be that he was going up against Christian Fuchs, Premier League title winning Christian Fuchs. But I was surprised. He was running like he looked like a deer out there running. Like I was
bounding.
Yeah. I don't remember who that was. I think that's how they used to describe Jadeveon Clowney from South Carolina and the Texans, just because he's so big and the galloping speed. You don't notice it until, I don't know. Ronaldo looked a little gangly out there, but he was getting after it. And he was winning those balls back in space on those through balls. Like I was very happy with that.
Regardless of who or what the answer becomes in this lineup, I like that Pineda's been looking for different potential personnel groupings to figure this answer out, and not just digging his heels in saying it's Dom Dwyer or
it's Kubo Torres.
Right. Or it's what's his face that got some playtime last match, not yesterday, but Jackson Conway, whoever it may be. He's not just we've seen over 2 matches 3 different looks essentially as he's trying to figure this out, and he's not, this is my guy, this is who it's going to be, and then whenever it doesn't work, he just digs his heels in and is adamant that that's going to, or defiant that that's going to be it, and he knows best. Like, he's letting that get figured out based on performance and week to week changes as players are performing better or doing things differently in training that he's seeing, and making adjustments accordingly. So
yeah, he's not the cliche fit the team to the manager. He is fitting the players, or like he's fitting his tactics, or he's flexible with his tactics. I don't know where I'm going with that, but I think it's very evident in the fact that we're playing like a 3-4-3.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, he's typically a guy that's been playing. You've seen last year he played a 3-back, and then once he got comfortable and he got his players back, he started deploying a 4 in the back, and then now he's having to adjust.
Mhm.
And I really do admire that. I think that's a great quality in a manager.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But you've got to be able to do that and react to things, because things are never going to line up perfectly with whatever you throw out there. And if you're not reacting and responding to what the game gives you, or what a weekly injury report gives you, you're always going to be up against it. So
Yeah, that's how I believe a manager should be running. I mean, I don't like it when you've got people like Harry Redknapp that come into the team and then just bring in like a host of all new players just to try and fit what they want to do. I like to have that flexibility in a manager, because it should give him more options down the road. Like if eventually he gets, hopefully at some point we get all three of our DPs on the field together and have some consistent training time, and then he can really gel and we can see the vision that he ideally wants. But right now, I mean, for the past, I mean, I feel like it's been since 2020, it's been a whole mishmash of all different things. And there's just been no time for consistency.
Yeah, he's had to act on his feet.
Mhm.
I mean, his entire tenure, I feel like he's had to act on his feet. He's had
Mhm.
a few games in the beginning of the season where he thought he had a full strength, and not even. I take that back. I was about to say he had a full strength squad, but just because he could play his desired formation doesn't mean that he had the best players
Right.
to play in those roles. We're
Right.
still waiting for the visa issue with Thiago Almada, and worrying about, or
Sosa
dealing
was
with the green
out.
card and injury with Sosa and Ibarra. Emerson Hyndman is still hurt. We have no idea how he rates Emerson Hyndman now that he's in training. Does
Yep.
he look at him and as like a Sadic replacement, Joseto replacement, something like that, somebody who's going to be taking home that spot? I mean, I don't know. It's hard to tell. That's another one. We haven't talked about Emerson Hyndman, I feel like, in 2 years.
Well, we haven't had anything to talk about because he's not been on the field in 2 years.
Yeah, it's rough. I mean, has it really? It has been that long, hasn't it? Or no?
I think he played that first. He had that stunner in that first game in 2020, and then I think he played the better part of that season, and then got a minor injury. I think last year was really, because last year was his.
He tore his
injury.
ACL. Was that in the opener last year?
I don't remember if it was the opener or not.
It was pretty early on in the season, I feel like. But he's back in training, if I'm not mistaken. And but just like Joseph, ACL injury initially.
Yeah, that was in training, wasn't it? That he tore his ACL.
Oh, you're right. It was in training.
That's right.
Yeah, he played 7 matches last year before tearing his ACL.
Yeah,
and looked pretty good last year. I don't know. I mean, just to go back to Pineda, like, I don't know if has anybody really. I know Twitter's not real life, and I haven't been on there much in the past couple weeks. But like, are people actually calling for?
Somebody was. I forget who it was, but I certainly saw something in response to this past week's result. You know, and it's like, what do you want the guy to do? You know, you're out 5 starters, and you're pulling a 1-0 result on the road against one of the best keepers in the league, I'd argue, at this point.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're not a bad team.
No, not at all.
They're not at all a bad team.
Not at all.
They're not a bad team. It would be interesting to see how they evolve through the season. I mean, one thing they've really got going for them is their manager is he's an excellent manager. I would like to see and how they deal with injuries when their first choice players get injured. What is their depth like? I mean, they may not get injured and we may not see that, but they haven't had to face much roster adversity yet.
I just hate that Atlanta conceded the goal the way that they did
on an Olympico. Yeah.
I mean,
don't you think it's strange how everybody knew what an Olympico was? I had no idea what it was.
You didn't know what that was?
I thought, no, you just score from a corner.
Yeah.
But just for Guzan to just watch it sail in, basically,
that's something that happens in like high school and middle school soccer.
Yeah. That was, I mean, it looked beautiful. It looks like such a cool goal. And if it was Atlanta United, I'd probably pin it to my Twitter feed. But it was such a fluky goal, and to have it happen to us on the road, it's kind of like, well, it's par for the course, really. I mean, like,
Well, especially whenever we're talking about Guzan's contract, and as much as we talk about Joseph's because of injury and everything else, we talk about Guzan's for a completely different reason, being he is now the highest paid keeper in the league, right?
I don't know what his pay cut was.
Oh, that's right. He did take that pay cut.
Yeah, we talked about that last week.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that last week that he took a pay cut.
That's right. But still, with his salary and what we're paying him, for that to be the lone goal of the night was a little disappointing.
So he was the highest paid in 2021.
Was it like
it was like
750?
800 and something, I think.
805,000.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Bryson Cicero, thoughts on keeping Guzan over Can, Kevin?
Thoughts on keeping? Well, Can's gone. At this point,
that's what he's saying. He's saying, "What are your thoughts on us having gotten rid of Can instead of getting rid of Guzan?"
I think that's still the right choice, but I don't know.
Who's given up more goals this year? I guess Can probably has.
Yeah, those first couple games. First couple games were pretty brutal.
It was brutal. 5-0, 1-0, 2-1, 3-1.
Whoa,
that they won.
Tim, stay in your lane, man.
What?
You're going through all of my download. All of my download is their past results.
Sorry.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead. I'm just going to repeat it.
No, that's fine. That's fine. No, I mean,
it was like I really pissed him off, kid.
Just really glad to have this sloppy second download.
I'm just gonna go sit in the corner.
That's what most people do after the download.
Go think about what you've done. Go think about what you've done. Oh dear God. It's kind of shameful watching that goal roll in, or not even roll in.
No,
like it skied him.
Yeah.
And it's not like there was a big collision. Like there was
the sun and the wind.
Where
I couldn't see it.
Pull an Oliver Kahn.
What? What are you talking about?
Oh my gosh.
The wind got a hold of it, and then the sun was in my eyes.
Did he say that?
Yeah.
Oh. I thought you were joking.
No. He definitely said like the wind had gotten a hold of it and the sun made it hard to track or something like that.
I mean, that could legitimately. I mean, that's an excuse I would use, and I would be the one.
I would use that excuse on the golf course, not.
So Jay Hannibal's comment was about exactly where I was about to go. He said the glare off of Guzan's head, but I was about to say it's not like the reflection off of his head would affect his vision. It would be blinding to the other players.
But the reflection off Gutman's head.
They actually bounce off each other and refract to make it like you're like holding a magnifying glass up to ants.
That's right. Yeah, colonies of ants.
He's just burning his eyes in goal.
Yeah.
No, they connect and then
it's like lasers with mirrors on either side.
Yeah,
these moments right here are why people listen to us.
It is.
Yeah. And there's 2 seats at the end of this table that are for Dan James once we can sort out timing. We miss you, Dan. We miss having you here.
I'd like to be there too. Be
I know,
playing with those succulents over there. They look great, Tim.
Oh, thanks. Are
those microphones sticking out of that plant?
No, those are grow lights.
Yeah, they're actually our 4 co-hosts tonight. What you got to say,
types
succulent?
of plants. Gotcha.
Yeah.
They're grow lights. Oh, okay, Tim.
Yep.
Eric Ferreira says, watch out, guys. Might get labeled negative podcast because you're talking Joseph out. I mean,
well, someone's got to offset the Sunshine Pump Up podcast. So we're the negative one.
That's true. I think Felipe's gone to the dark side. Speaking of the opposite of Sunshine Pumper, he's been real down on this club this year, I feel like.
I love Felipe, and I think he does a great service to this club and has in the past. I see him much in the Jim Gray mold. Trying to think who else would be in that same mold. Like a confrontational reporter.
Yeah, he's getting very, like I said, he's been very down on the club. And look, everyone's entitled to their opinions, or he reviews and knows more about this game than I certainly do as a misinformed bystander. However, it is okay. Great, thanks, Dan. I'll just leave it at that.
He knows a hell of a lot more than I do, Kevin.
Kevin just referred to himself as a bystander. What is the crime you're watching unfold if you're just a bystander?
This season, Pineda out.
Felipe murdering Atlanta United.
Exactly.
Yeah. I feel like he's very Trent Krim sometimes.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Because he means well. I don't think that he doesn't mean well. I think he's legitimately just being.
It all started with the Boca out piece, and now he's just on. He's gone down a path.
Yeah,
I actually feel like
I forgot about that Boca out piece.
Maybe it's more of a negative contest. His points are very well thought out.
Absolutely,
and you can totally understand where he's coming from, and it's hard to, like, when you look at them and try and be critical, it's like, well, you've got not much of a leg to stand on, because he's very
absolutely
very accurate, I feel like, in what he's putting together.
Absolutely. I just want to see a little bit of good, though. There's enough negative out there. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, man. A little something.
Come on, man. Yeah, it's somebody has to be critical.
Yeah. I feel like we find ourselves right in the middle ground between overly critical and overtly sunshine.
Well, I feel like both Soccer Down Here and Felipe are very accurate in their commentary on the team, and I feel like Soccer Down Here does a really good job of highlighting those positive elements, whereas Felipe, I feel like, is more critical of them, obviously, and Doug seems inherently negative. And then I don't think there's any other podcasts.
Just ours.
Do you think that Doug takes himself to like 2-star restaurants off of Yelp just because he can't stand probably having a good meal? Like he just he needs to complain about it.
He only goes to 2 stars.
I've never really I've talked to Doug maybe once or twice, and I don't even remember where. Just at the stadium, maybe, or at an event. But he does.
He's coming on next week, right?
Yeah. I would gladly have.
At this rate, nobody's coming back on the show because all we've done is shit on everybody in this community over the past 5 minutes, which is really great.
That's well,
we're just stuck
Joe
with
Patrick
Eric.
Has a little place in my heart.
Yeah. Tune into Mouths of the South and 5 Stripe Final.
Yeah. Interesting
Eric's
story,
because he will not take himself seriously, Eric.
No.
Yeah,
I love Eric.
He's good. He takes a lot of shit from us and puts up with it.
That's true.
Did I tell you I saw Sam Jones the other day?
No.
J. Sam Jones running around.
Was he picketing somewhere?
It was at.
Did you cross his picket line?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, no, I saw him out running over by our office.
Did you start running with him? That'd be the best.
Yeah.
You see him running, you just run and catch up with him. Hey, what's going on, man? I haven't seen you in a while.
It's been like 5 years.
Figure we catch up.
Pull out the Wonder Shows and sock. What are you running from?
Yeah, exactly.
What are you running from?
So, Jay Hannibal, is Araujo back this week? I hope so.
Yeah, I think we all do.
I know he's explosive, and Pineda wants to keep him on the on a non-aggressive schedule, but I worry about Cincinnati because they ship a ton of goals, and yet sometimes we make those teams look incredible.
Do you bring him back in against Cincinnati, or do you bring him back in against Chattanooga and ease him in?
Some would argue it's easier to bring him, just as easy to bring him on FC Cincinnati.
Are you sure about that? Because their recent run of form I don't want to take away from the Dan load. I'm not trying to.
Sorry, Tim. Sorry, man.
I guess I don't know. Yeah, I guess they've had two consecutive losses, but
Cincinnati ship a lot of goals. I think it would be a good opportunity for Aruju if he's ready, at least to either be brought on for 30 minutes. I mean, I think bringing him on as a sub against a tired team would be fantastic, and he potentially could gain a lot of confidence back
Yeah.
from doing that.
Okay, so you're not
25 minutes.
you're not contending that he comes in to start. You're
No.
saying,
No. I think a sub start, and then
Okay,
potentially. Well, Chattanooga's Wednesday. I
Yeah.
mean, you just see how he goes against Cincinnati, and then ease him in. Look at how we were awful to start last year and still made playoffs. It's a long season. You're exactly right, Bryson.
Exactly. That's all in this league. That's all you need to do. You don't need to be top of the table to win the cup. I mean,
it's the Sounders way, and we have a Sounder at our
Yep.
at the helm. So, Carlos Rangel brings up a pretty interesting point. He says, "Am I the only one who thinks Atlanta United players are always late to adapt to the way a referee is calling a game?" I don't think I've ever thought about that.
No, me neither.
I
don't know that we ever do.
I feel like the refereeing is so inconsistent just across the board. It's difficult to do that. But then I don't know. Does Carlos have specific players? Because I don't
know if he has specific players, but in his second comment, he says against Charlotte, the ref was letting a lot of fouls go, and Atlanta players were not fouling back. So we weren't taking advantage of the way it was. Alan Chapman was refereeing yesterday.
Yeah.
MMA Alan Chapman, as I like to call him.
What is it?
MMA Alan Chapman.
Oh, why is that?
Because he always does this. Like his games are wonderful to watch from a neutral perspective because you see so much violence.
I thought he was pretty consistent yesterday. Granted, I'm mostly watching
from game to game.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, I actually was not super critical at all of his performance yesterday. Granted, I was watching while trying to entertain an 8-month-old, but it seemed like he was doing a pretty solid job yesterday. Yeah, what do you think about this Charlotte team, Dan? Like, do you think they're a playoff team?
So remember last week I was telling you how they could be mentally fragile, and then we would take advantage of that. Well, that was completely wrong. They were.
You looked like. Am I saying this right? You look like a nonce saying that. Is that the right?
Yeah, nonce, idiot. Pillock. But they actually
that
took
just
it.
Sounds bad. It does.
I called my kids that once, and they were like, "What's a pillock?" And I was like, "Well, I mean, it's a kind way of saying you're silly." Anyway, so I think oh my gosh, where was I going?
Pillock. You were talking about their mental fortitude and how we were able to capitalize on,
and how they were totally up for it. I was completely wrong, and they were all the crowd. I mean, you could sense the energy of the crowd through the TV screen. They were completely up for it, and getting that goal, and then they did a really good job of disrupting and defending us. I mean, we couldn't, I just think we've been very fortunate when we've been able to switch the ball from side to side. And they were able to adapt to that and shut us down. Like, it was really hard for Lennon or Gutman to do anything on the wings because they just seemed to they worked the diamond really well and were able to morph to one side and then be able to stop and attack here and there. And it wasn't till 17-year-old Caleb Wiley on to have his own cross and then take the shot. Was the most, the best chance I feel like we had, even though our XG far exceeded theirs. They did a really good job in breaking us down, and I thought that I thought Charlotte played a great game. I really did. I was really impressed with them, and I think in their current state, they are a good team. They've got a chip on their shoulder. Are they going to play with that much enthusiasm against every other opponent? it's to be it's to be seen if they can do that. But against us, I mean, I was right in saying they were pissed about losing to us and wanted to get the revenge game, as they branded it themselves. So, and they did it, and they beat us. So, fair play. I can't wait till we annihilate them next time.
Yeah,
Do we have another leg against them this season?
at least one, if not two. Right?
I'm not
Do we
sure.
play them one more time?
I will check.
Like regional rivalry type thing.
Yeah, because normally we play Orlando 3 times.
Yeah, but there's more teams in the league now.
Yeah, exactly. So
Okay.
I don't know how that's going to shake out.
I'll tell you in a second. And there's someone in the trap's going to beat me to it.
Hopefully we've got one more to
My
sort
money's
of
on Carlos.
have the tiebreaker, but we'll see. When's our first match against Orlando too?
No, I guess we don't play them again.
We do not play them.
We don't play them again. So we
Well,
split
we'll
the
see them in
series.
the playoffs.
Yeah. Orlando.
That would be a great matchup if that happened. First round of the playoffs.
July 17th is our first match against Orlando. It's at home, and then we have one away in September. So we have a long way to wait on that. So
Yeah, Kalina is a fantastic. I mean, to your point, Kev,
Dude,
he's probably been the best
lights
keeper in the league.
Just lights out. He had a couple really close shots from Moreno that he was able. I mean, he didn't have to make any incredible saves like he did in the first match, but he's still it's another shutout. I mean, he did what he needed to do. You know, he didn't let the sun and wind affect his ability to make a save.
Was that the Sun and Lind? Is that what you said?
Yeah, the lint. It was lint. He had lint from his shirt in his eye.
I felt like, did you guys feel like the entire game that our back line was struggling to get back?
Yes.
Like I felt like they were. Were we playing too high of a line? Like were we just getting caught out that often? Like it just seemed like constant recovery from our center backs to try and get back and win tackles.
Brittany S. No, we only play Toronto twice this year. I do remember center backs. I think Campbell made some great stops, like at the death.
Yes, he did.
Close
He had
to
a
the
couple of
goal.
sliding stops inside the box for balls that were coming across the floor and stuff like that.
But they were being very effective at turning the ball over and then getting it back down the field quickly.
Yeah.
It's something that the Atlanta United we've struggled with ever since Tata left. And then 90% of the team. But I mean, that's one thing that if Moreno had Almiron speed, I mean, you would basically have a more technical Almiron. But the frustrating thing about Moreno is he's so technical. Like he'll take a player on, but he just doesn't have the speed to outrun the guy. And sometimes he gets pushed off the ball, which is frustrating because when you have a player like that, you want to have an option who you can pass the ball to, and you're not relying on him to take a player on and then muscle him out down the field. Because I mean, Marcy's not the biggest guy in the world.
No, I agree with you. It's tough because, and I noticed that whenever his runs kind of come to a head whenever he gets to the box, right? And he's got a couple guys there, and if he doesn't have outlets to immediately pass the ball to, I feel like he gets kind of stuck. I feel like he's just trying to decide whether or not to keep down the line to try and beat the guy with the little pace that he has, or to try and cut in and like make a quick pass. But
what else is he going to do? I mean, you can't just, dribble down the middle, and when you're eventually going to run into a wall of defenders.
Especially, if you don't have guys trailing with you and running with you. I mean, I still thought he played really well. I thought he was.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I thought he was.
He's given 100% every game, Tim. Sorry.
Yeah. I think he was the best player for us. I know people in the trap, Brittany, Jay Hannibal saying Thiago Almada was by far the best player on the pitch.
Dude, Almada had a rip from about 22 out that just went over the top left. Yeah, I thought Almada. He's certainly. I know that first game we were talking about how there were going to be a lot of expectations on him. So maybe now's a good time to check in because it's been 3 games now since he's.
It's his second start.
It was his second start.
third appearance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
So what's everyone's? What are you guys' thoughts now? 3 matches in, let's say, of Almada. He seems to certainly have his footing. I know that you were really high on him last week. This week again, I think he had a great performance. What are you guys thinking? I think right now the most exciting prospect is to see him and Aruju on the field at the same time.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine?
Unleash those two and have Moreno
Yeah.
sitting back.
You talk about like Moreno needing someone to distribute to. You've got both of them just flashing up towards the top of the line. Like he doesn't need to hold on to the ball for long because one of them are going to be there in a matter of just moments.
And they're vacuums, right? Like so they're going to suck all that pressure off, and Moreno's going to slip in behind, and they're going to get chips or lobs over the back line to him. And that's
get him the ball. Just get him the ball.
Yeah. That's Salah and Mane 2.0. All right.
That's right. Exactly.
All right.
There are breaks that need to be pumped here. I think I also blended together the Liverpool City game with Atlanta United yesterday because I think I'm blending together all of the Trent Alexander-Arnold just horrible passes and getting pickpocketed the entire.
I did the same
game.
thing with the Masters in the game yesterday.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man. Remember when Colin Morikawa just slipped that one in on the back line, but then the wind got a hold of it and just sailed it over the back?
Mine makes a little more sense because I'm sitting there watching back-to-back soccer games.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I agree. In just 100, Almeida could be special. I really think he could be because he's, as we talked last week, he's more direct. He shows more vision. He seems to be more team friendly than Barco. He could. I mean, he has the potential. Maybe not this season, but he has the potential to win MVP.
Ooh, I like that.
Brandon Vasquez is back in town this weekend too.
Oh, that's a good point.
Let's not speak too soon about him being more team friendly than Barco.
So should we start up the download here?
Hold on. You got to do a full choke. you got to go full.
You got to ask for permission first. Can't just rush in giving people a full choke, Tim. You got to work your way up to that, man.
You got to flood the engine.
My engine is flooded. All this talk about this, I'm gonna slip off this seat in a minute.
All I'm doing is giving leaf blower instructions, but you gotta flood the engine, 4 strokes at full choke.
You guys are disgraceful, man.
And then half choke, and then I do want to talk about. I literally could have written that, and it's just the instructions on the side of my leaf blower. Carlos Rangel asking, before we move on to Cincy, has George Campbell surpassed Alan Franco? Yesterday wasn't the first time that Franco's been subbed out and Miles and George were kept on as the back two.
I wouldn't be surprised if that ends up being the direction we go in, because Franco's just not played consistently well to stand out to replace Campbell, in my opinion.
Dan's throwing on his shield. Hold on. Let him step in.
We were also, it was the 60th minute. We're also chasing the game at that point. So we bring on Ibarra and we put off Sadic for, who was it, Mulroney. So we need to push up at that point. And then to potentially Carlos's comment, in that regard, you could be pulling off your weakest defender, which would support Carlos's argument there. So, but then the thing is, Campbell, we have used him in a 6 location in front of the center back. So if you're in concept trying to push everybody up, would you not keep Campbell because he can play a little bit more forward?
And play a single center back in Miles Robinson? I'm not following.
No. They would both be center backs, but Campbell has then the willingness to push forward a little bit or to be in front of Miles. So Miles is the guy bailing out the runner at the end, like Campbell has done.
But sorry, Dan, I'm not trying to be a dick. But last week, didn't you say that Alan Franco was one of the best attacking center backs in MLS? So why would you take him out if you wanted to score goals?
Well, sounds like a turncoat to me, which sounds up his alley.
No, I'm serious. I'm serious.
I did say that.
You said he was in like the 90th percentile in all attacking statistics for a center back. So if that's the argument that he is,
this tea tastes good.
No, yeah. I mean,
if that's the argument, then I don't know why you take him off.
Boy.
So I was saying that because Campbell has played center defensive midfield where Franco hasn't. That's why you would keep. That is potentially why you would keep Campbell.
But that makes sense if you keep a 3-back. Because otherwise you're playing a stopper and a sweeper.
Right. I mean, if you're trying to push everyone upfield to get a goal, you're
playing like a 1-1-1-1-4-4?
I mean, potentially you could play a 1 and then just another one slightly further forward.
And then another one slightly further forward. And then
That's right.
One slightly forward.
I see your point, Tim, but then all the center backs go up for a corner, you know.
Why didn't Guzan go up for that corner at the end?
Exactly. Get him out of there. Get him out.
He would have lost it in the air anyway.
I'm not trying
to came towards him on a cross. He's just completely sorry, the wind got a hold of it. I couldn't see it.
I'm not trying to be facetious, seriously, why wasn't he up there? We were down 1-0. Goal differential is the second tiebreaker.
Again, it's the magnification of lasers on mirrors. You can't have two bald-headed players inside the box at the same time.
But what if they would have hit Kalina with it?
Just bing, 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 bing.
I don't know.
I don't know, man.
We need another bald guy on the team.
Yeah, do it.
Be like TN. Having three bald guys out there, we can't differentiate. Who's out there? Are there any free agents we can get that are bald, like the two of them? You have hair. They don't. They don't have any hair.
You're right.
Okay.
All right. Choke it up.
Should I take my headphones out? I didn't even listen back to it last week because I thought it was just a complete.
Kevin doesn't have studio control right now.
Oh, he's typing up on his phone, trying to find some bullshit to play. That's what I'll just take him out.
Oh,
all right. So Cincinnati's had a week's rest. Last 5 games. Obviously, they lost last week 4-3 to Montreal. Previously, 2-0 loss to Charlotte. Previously, a 3-1 win against Miami. And then they beat the hated Orlando. Hopefully, Kevin is actually doing something decent and pulling up that Carolina Panthers soundtrack. But he's probably not. He's pulling up some bullshit. And then they lost to DC 1-0. They've played a pretty consistent 3-5-2 throughout the entirety of the season. We're playing 2 up top with Baji and Vasquez. In watching the Montreal highlights, Vasquez has been really impressive for them. He's their top scorer with 5 goals. Against Montreal, his first goal, it was really interesting seeing he received a pass from Powell off the wing, and he used some really nifty, albeit Jake Mulroney type silky feet to just trap the ball, shimmy around the keeper and slot it in home from a pretty acute angle. And then the second one, he comes in off the wing and passes it in straight into a whole bunch of chaos in the box and forces an own goal. And then the third goal was an Acosta penalty. So Luciano Acosta, you think, would be doing a whole lot better. But he is their highest rated player in a 7.3 from FootMob. Closely behind that is Vasquez because of all the goals he's been scoring.
Acosta leads the league in key passes, Dan. He leads the league in key passes.
Most of their goals in the first half, they've conceded 9 goals. And at the last 15 minutes of the half, they've conceded 4. So there's a high point there where just before the halftime, you can potentially get one over them. It seems like they're the weakest, but I'm sure they'll be trying to work out with Pat Noonan how they can defend that a lot better. And then the second half, they've been shipping 5 goals. Where Atlanta United has been a lot better. We just ship our goals in the first half. But I think we've only shipped... I can't even look it up. Don't worry about it. You can go on your many apps and have a look. So potentially we could score a lot in the first half. Cincinnati has 0 clean sheets this season. This could be a good confidence builder. Oh my gosh, if Araujo is ready, it's going to be... It could be excellent. But we said that before. Oh my gosh, what the heck are they doing? But anyway... I'm going to let them predict first, and then I'll come back with my prediction and see what happens. I'm back.
Oh, I'm exhausted.
Oh my
God. No,
why would it be a dog panting?
I pulled up I had a background set up last week that wouldn't really show well on the screen that Tim found buried in our settings. It just says heavy load in like big yellow text.
It looks like kick-ass font.
Yeah, exactly.
But it says heavy load instead. I don't. Dan's not watching. He's not listening.
He
anymore.
didn't even put his headphones in at all?
No.
His load is over.
And he's muted.
Wow. You muted him or he muted himself?
No, he muted himself.
Wow. Sorry, saying goodnight to one of my children.
How dare you?
So obviously I had you muted, Kevin.
Well, you don't put your kids to bed at 7 p.m. when it's still light out like I do.
I put one of them down and he says, it's still sunny.
That's why you got to put the blackout curtains in there like we do.
I feel like, be quiet, go to sleep.
Yeah. You didn't hear me whenever I was saying this, but one thing you missed in the damn... Just constructive criticism.
Yeah, no, I hear it, Tim.
Luciano Acosta does lead the league in key passes. So it's you say
nice.
You're surprised by his performance, but he's he doesn't play defense though. He can't play defense. Neither can their defense. So I mean, I don't think anybody on that team can play defense. I feel horrible for Alec Can. Finally gets his shot to be a MLS starting keeper on a full-time basis and has to go and play behind that back line. Is Jeff Cameron still there?
He is.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, they don't fear me. Like, I like the idea of slipping in Araujo in the second half and giving him some time and a confidence boost. And not just that, like he's a perfect... Like he's really you don't want to play him as a substitute all the time, but dangerous change of play or change of pace substitute to come in and really prey on like a spent defense. Right. And yeah, I don't know. I'm excited about this game.
Score predictions.
I was also excited about the Charlotte games.
Yeah, weren't we all?
I don't know. I don't think we played horribly during the Charlotte game. I guess you can't really get past Kalina. We didn't have a lot of great chances, but score predictions.
I'll say 1-1.
Dan?
Man, 1-1. That sucks. We should be better than that. We should be better than 1-1. I'm going to go with 2-0.
Oh, and I'm going to go with a 4-2 Atlanta United.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Where's that coming from? Who's going to score 4 goals?
Almada.
I was thinking Ibarra would score all 4. I think Franco Ibarra would probably score all 4 of them.
Cool.
To be honest.
Cool.
And if he does that, then Max Plays Games has to get a tattoo. He has to get a Jackson Conway tattoo.
That's it.
No, he has to get the Jackson Conway haircut and then get an Ibarra tattoo where the mullet.
No, he gets a mullet tattoo. He shaves his head like Guzan and gets the mullet tattooed onto his scalp.
That is
Just-
brilliant, Kevin. That is
It would
brilliant.
just look
Yep,
like a really
that's what it's
bad
gonna
painted
be.
on do-rag.
Exactly. It'll look like a swim cap. It looks like hair.
Can you imagine how gross? Just your whole head, just a whole head. What if they got a photorealistic tattoo of hair?
I'm sure it's online. Look that up.
Well, I mean,
Look on hair
remember?
tattoo.
Don't you remember Bam Bam Bigelow? And he had the fire
Bam.
tattoo on his head.
Bam.
Please find hair tattoos. While you're doing that, it just 100 2-1 good guys. Brittany S 3-1 Atlanta. Jay Hannibal 2-0. Ronaldo starts and gets one of the two. Richard Gordon 2-1 Atlanta. If Aruju is back 3-1. Matt Wisniewski 2-1 Moreno and Almada. Carlos Rangel 3-2 Atlanta. Ronaldo hat trick and Vasquez brace. I think that's all of them so far.
You talking about like this? You can't see it, can you?
Oh my God.
Yes, that but with a mullet. That's exactly what I want. You've got to do that.
I hope you're listening, Max Plays Games. This is
Only in
something-
America.
This is something required of you.
That's what I'm getting done for the wedding.
My God.
I'm just shave my beard into a mustache.
Oh God.
I can't
Yeah.
wait. It's gonna be so great.
Bryson Cicero 3-2 Atlanta.
Mm.
Gosh, man, I hope Cincy better not score these goals like people are predicting.
Mm. Is Alan Franco playing?
Best attacking center back in the league when he's on the
Probably.
bench.
Yeah, you're gonna be eating your words.
He
when
has a really
scores
good plus
brace.
minus when he's on the bench.
Can't miss key plays whenever you're not involved in it.
So what was it? 30 million for Barco. Alan Franco is the best
40
attacking
million.
defender in the year.
I have a question.
What else have I done?
Do we have a buyback clause whenever we sold Brandon Vasquez, or was he
You want to buy him back for this week?
expansion drafted? Was he expansion drafted?
No, I think. Oh, I think he was, and then
think
but
he
he
was
was
expansion
traded to Cincinnati after the team who picked him.
Nashville picked him.
Yeah.
I was thinking how cool it would be to buy him back if there was a buyback clause. Because who do we pay? We pay ourselves, or not a buyback clause, but like a sell-on fee. If there was a sell-on fee, but
be
we
great.
bought him back. Who is that? Just nullified? I want him back though. He needs to come back.
He'll be here this weekend. He'll be back.
Come back home.
Come back home.
Yeah,
He's
not
from
going.
California though. I don't think. Yeah. Gosh,
All right. Anything else?
I don't think so. What's your You got any good fast food takes lately? How was that stuffed crust pizza?
That was what it was like the all night afterwards. There's nothing. You can't beat a Pizza Hut stuffed crust. It is just undeniably Pizza Hut.
Yeah. That and the Big New Yorker. I don't think they do the Big New Yorker anymore, though, do they?
I don't know. Any fast food hot takes? I'm trying to think if I've even had fast food. Dude, I told you I've been on a Wendy's kick the past couple
Yeah.
months. Like you wouldn't
still a
believe.
thing?
I haven't gone in a little bit.
But you're
since
not-
my
well, you're-
travel and stuff.
You say it's a Wendy's kick, but you're getting like a chicken nugget
I'm
and
getting
then some fries.
6-piece spicy nuggets and fries.
That's not a kick. A kick is me going and getting like a jalapeno cheddar
No, that's
popper sandwich every night.
Also, I realized that hyperfixation is a thing, which apparently I definitely fall into that category. And like hyperfixation meals is a thing where I'll just get obsessed with something and eat it until I'm sick of it. And that's been it, basically.
Or are you going to say, Dan, and cut in?
I was going to be like, yeah, I'm all aboard on Wendy's. And then he talking about chicken nuggets. I'm like, come on, dude. The Wendy's do the best fast food burgers. If you're going to a drive-through, that's the best burger to get. However, I now experience Whataburger, and now that is the best drive-through burger.
Where did you experience that? Texas? Did you go to
No,
Texas?
there's one in Georgia.
I actually experienced in Florida.
There's one in Georgia? In Atlanta?
Not in Atlanta.
Okay.
You
I know it's a
pass it-
Texas
I think
thing.
you pass it on the way to Florida, actually.
Oh, yeah. I've never had Whataburger. As much as I've been to Texas.
It's very impressive. I mean, have you guys heard of NFA Burger?
Yes,
Yeah, it's the
that's
best.
good.
That's the best burger in Atlanta that I've had.
In Dunwoody?
Yeah.
Oh,
I've been there
nice.
like probably 10 times in the past this year.
I think
That's-
Grindhouse. I think Grindhouse is my favorite burger in Atlanta.
No, I mean NFA is fantastic.
And the beef fat tots? Yeah, you can't
I
beat
haven't
them.
had those yet.
Oh my God.
I live like walking distance, and I've only eaten it once.
It's so good. Like, it's hard to find a good smash burger. That's like I would
What happened
eat.
to Smash Burger? Is that place no longer
They
existent?
expanded
they're
way
done.
too quickly.
Yeah, they were
I
like
think-
all over the place when we first moved to
Overexposed.
Atlanta.
They still. What'd you say, Dan?
They were overexposed themselves.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think the same thing probably is happening to Blaze Pizza. I would not be surprised. But like
Never heard of
Smash
it.
Burger, the only one that I know of, granted, I don't go a ton
There
of
was a
places, is
ton
in
of 'em.
Shreveport, Louisiana,
Yeah.
where my parents are.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there were a ton of them. There was one on
There was one
Roswell
on
Road.
Roswell. There was one in Buckhead. There was a handful of
Yeah.
them around town. Anyway,
It's just hard to find a good, thin, crispy smash burger with some good
Yeah.
American cheese on it. Freddy's is a decent substitute. It's not NFA.
that's the one down in Krog, right?
No. Freddy's is like I think Athens, Snellville. I think they're mostly like east to
Gotcha.
northeast,
What's
but it's like a
the-
steak and shake.
What's the
type
place
thing.
in Krog that like
Fred's.
sandwich? Oh, it's Fred's. Okay,
Yeah.
I knew it was something like that.
Fred's meat.
Gotcha.
See,
That
I
place is pretty solid.
I like thin burgers. I do like Grindhouse. but
Grindhouse is so good.
Grindhouse is good,
Fucking
but
love it.
Yeah, I like Grindhouse too, but it's not a drive-through. Jay Hannibal said, "Hot take from a European." There, I mean, I don't think Europeans. There's no good burger in Europe. America has the best burger.
oh, dude, whenever I went to London and I was looking at what they called hamburgers, I was like, this
Don't
looks
get
like,
a hamburger from.
this looks like cafeteria stuff from
Go
like
get a
elementary school.
curry or something like.
I did
You
Original.
could have the best doner kebab in Europe. That would be
Yes.
a good one.
in
Yeah.
London.
Just in Europe in general,
Yeah.
they're just all over the place.
I did have
Maybe.
really good. I think it was from a chain. It was like a sit down chain of Indian food. Masala Zone, I think is what it's called. I don't know. In London, it was quite good. It was very good. But that's tikka masala is the national dish of England, right? Or of the UK.
I mean, no. I mean, yeah, it's like saying a cheeseburger is the dish of America.
I wouldn't argue that.
I wouldn't argue that either. Except hot dogs. Are you a burgers and dogs kind of guy, or more of a dogs and burgers kind of guy?
What is that sentence? What are you talking about?
It's a pretty simple question.
No, it's not. That is ridiculous.
If you're faced with whether or not you want burgers and dogs or dogs and burgers, which one are you choosing?
Burgers and dogs.
I'm eating both, Tim. If you give me a good burger and a good
wasn't
hot
the
dog,
question.
I'm
He
eating
doesn't
both.
get it. He doesn't get it.
That wasn't the question.
Do you want burgers and dogs or dogs and burgers?
It's probably another sex thing, isn't it? Jay Hannibal, Dan, have you ever had Wright's fish and chips and coming? Good stuff there, lad. No, I've not. I hope it's good. I've not had good fish and chips over here.
Really? I had
Mhm.
so I had fish and chips in London. They were very good. I don't like the place I went. They were probably a little swankier because it was not on my dime, but it had mushy peas. The fish and chips in Australia are pretty good. We had some in Seattle back in March that were pretty amazing. What, Dan?
It's just funny. Like, you're talking about the fish and chips that you had. This well, the fish and chips in Australia. Not the first time I went to Australia. The second time I went to
I've only been one time. I've only been to
I was
Australia
just-
one time.
giving you a hard time.
That flight is too tough. But yeah, place in it has to be cod, right? Cod's the
Yes,
only way to do.
Absolutely, yeah.
And Alaskan cod, up in Seattle, that area is so damn good.
Oh well, yeah. I haven't been to the Pacific Northwest, so
Yeah, it's worth going
It's
to.
the specific Northwest, Dan.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're talking
specific.
specifically about
It is
Seattle.
specifically there. That's
It's
right.
the
Yeah.
specific Northwest. I don't mean to be a grammar snob, but say it
No,
correctly.
I totally understand, Kim. I'm
I don't know
sorry
what
to.
I don't. In Pacific, I don't
slander
know
the
what you're
names
talking
of your-
about.
It's not. Yeah, exactly. Or Pacifically the Northwest. That's the other one.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight.
Kevin's
Really
gotta go
appreciate
home.
it.
Were you not drinking tonight, Kev?
No,
You're just drinking water.
I thought I had a bottle over here, but I didn't, and I didn't give myself enough time to run by the store on the way over. So I will correct that next week.
So you're just gonna go get a bottle on your way home and drink it in the car?
Yeah, I mean, you got to prime the engine for bedtime. You know?
I mean, you just must be so disappointed when you got there. And were like, wait, I don't have a bottle.
Yeah,
He either wants wild dreams or no dreams.
exactly.
That's it.
It's the only way to. It's the only way to calm down the stress sharks swimming around in my head.
Hey, have we had Penny Bradley in the chat before?
Oh,
In the trap?
nope. Is she in there now?
Yeah, she says, "Hey y'all, hey son,
Oh, yep.
hi Penny."
That's my mom.
Way better,
Hey,
Kevin.
Penny.
This got weird. Hey guys. It's like, there's a couple people from work that, not from our
That
firm,
know your
but-
mom?
No. There's a couple people that aren't from our firm, but that like work with the project management groups or contractors and stuff that we work with that know that we do the show or that actively listen to the show that I forget about. And then we'll talk about shit on here. And I forget that this goes out beyond just us and the people that we see in the trap regularly. And then somebody after a meeting will be like, "Oh yeah, nice onesie from Bucky's that you put on during the show last week."
Hey Kevin, did you
Yeah.
flood the engine
Oh,
last
man.
night?
Exactly. Really, really
Did
great.
you start it on full
Yeah,
choke?
really great.
Yeah. The one person I worked with who listened to our podcast now does not work.
Promptly
with me
stopped listening to it.
Yeah.
And quit.
Quit.
And quickly filed a claim with HR.
Yeah.
It's so weird. He talked about it last night all day. I saw him like priming his Dan load in the office.
God.
All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in with us. Wherever you come from, however you found us, we appreciate it. Be sure to like and subscribe. Hit the bell icon on YouTube to get a notification each and every time we go live. Be sure to rate and review on iTunes or whatever your podcatcher may be. And yeah, you want to hang out with us online, you can find us all on Twitter at Home Before Dark. That's before spelled B and the number 4. Individually on different platforms. Tim.
Tumblr. I probably got a Tumblr out there somewhere.
Oh yeah.
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 I think it's
Yeah.
probably been hacked at this point.
Yeah.
but,
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
You can find me on LiveJournal
or Zanga.
or Zanga.
Yeah, Zanga. I've got a pretty good Zanga right now. How long until we get back to that?
What?
Until
Oh
Live
yeah.
Journal. It goes full circle.
It absolutely will. Just like everything else. Like I feel like all of the technology that eventually reverts back around, like vinyl coming back in and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Like the next thing is that the websites that we use are going to start reverting to where like everything's is in the Angel Cities format and it's all just like shitty 24-bit GIFs and stuff like that and Comic Sans and bright colors and flashing icons. It's going to be ridiculous. Dragon Ball Z pictures.
Some of
on
those
every
websites,
website.
GeoCities is making a big comeback, and Angel Fire.
That's
those
what I
two
was
are gonna-
saying, yeah.
those two are going to make a big comeback.
I think that's what we need to. What's our hosting fees? Can we switch? Can we be a pioneer in this? Can we
Yeah,
just
dude.
switch our hosting to a GeoCities?
Let's
site?
talk about, not to exclude you, Dan. You could stick around. Let's talk about this after the podcast.
No, I'm fine. I was
brainstorm.
thinking either that or MySpace we could start getting on.
Yeah, and if you forget it, you can always search in "Home Before Dark" on Ask Jeeves.
What does ask.com go to? It still exists. Askjeeves.com. That's still a website. I dare not type anything into it.
Oh yeah, you are getting swatted if you do.
Yeah,
Was Lycos a thing over here, or is that?
Oh,
just-
yeah. That was mostly for pictures, though, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
I have no idea. It didn't have a
Alta
black
Vista was
dog.
my jam back in the day. That and Excite.
I never used those.
Yeah. I remember thinking it was so cool to go to each one of them and create an email address.
MySpace is still live, right?
Probably.
Why don't we get a
No
Home
idea.
Before Dark MySpace and we'll just start posting things on there? Can we go on MySpace?
Let's do
Live?
that. Yes, let's do
We
that.
can have
Absolutely.
We can have a top 11. Let's lead the
Forget
charge
Twitter.
for MySpace. Yeah, we're getting off of this shit. Fuck
Do
this.
Do it.
We're bringing it back around. We're gonna have our new top 10, or what is it? Top 11, top 8, top 8.
Yeah.
We're gonna get our top 8 for the people that are in the trap that also join us on MySpace. They'll be in there. We're gonna pick our song for our page. We're already ready. I think
You
we're
can
good.
download it using Kazaa or LimeWire.
Not Kazaa Light though.
No,
Yeah.
no. Or if
All
you're
right.
real cool, you could get What CD.
Cool. I like this plan, guys. I think we're
This
on
is
our way.
excellent. Oh my gosh, this is the best marketing plan we've come up. Well, it's the only marketing plan we've come up with, but
Nothing that we do on this show has a real plan associated with it.
Jay Hannibal's going to go reset his password. Kevin, it was great that your mom chimed in.
I know. It was really great. Really, really great. I have to give her a call on the way home. So, all right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in with us. We'll see you next time. As always, be home before dark.
Nice to meet you, Penny, virtually.